Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Declan Rice wants Jesse Lingard to stay at West Ham beyond this season. Declan Rice has also declared the current West Ham squad as the best he's ever been in. Now, my club, Manchester United, have been linked with Declan Rice. ESPN said earlier on this season that we was set to rival Chelsea for Declan Rice. It also mentioned that West Ham were considering lowering their asking price to £50 million, but initially West Ham valued Declan Rice at around £80 million. Declan Rice, by the way, was Frank Lampard's top target, obviously when he was in charge of Chelsea before he got sacked. And Lampard was infuriated when he missed out on him. Now, I'd certainly take Declan Rice at Manchester United. You know, he's well proven in the Premier League. He's still young, he's only 22. He's got a lot of development in him. He's predominantly a holding midfielder. And Declan Rice breaks up the play well, he gets forward well. He can also be deployed as a centre-half. Declan Rice has been at West Ham for a while now. He's made 123 appearances for West Ham in the Premier League and he's scored 4 goals. He's got a contract with West Ham until 2024. There's also an option to extend his contract for a further 12 months. Before Declan Rice was at West Ham, he was at Chelsea. He was in their youth setup for several years. But anyway, reflect on what Declan Rice has said. It looks like he won't be leaving West Ham in the summer. Could there be a possible swap deal, you know, between Jesse Lingard and Declan Rice? You know, Peter Crouch has actually come out and said that we should get Declan Rice as part of a deal for Jesse Lingard, because I think West Ham could get Jesse Lingard permanently. But anyway, just give you a bit more news on Dean Henderson. We have set our asking price for Dean Henderson. We value Dean Henderson at £40 million. Now, I think there's 3 Premier League clubs that are interested in him. That's Tottenham, Chelsea and West Ham. Now, I think Dean Henderson will leave Man United if he isn't assured the number 1 role. I think Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our number 1 goalkeeper, because he's done well in the games he's played in this season. Plus, he's got that experience behind him because he did endure 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. Dean Henderson's got a lot of development in him. He's only the age of 23. You know, before the start of this season, Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Man United. But Solskjaer has admitted that it's becoming more and more difficult to leave Dean Henderson out of the side. Solskjaer has recently said that he is prepared to sell either De Gea or Dean Henderson in the summer. I think we should sell David De Gea. Paul Scholes has recently come out and said that De Gea is becoming a real problem for Man United. Gary Neville came out not so long ago and said that Solskjaer must deal with the goalkeeper situation. And Solskjaer's already warned David De Gea that his number 1 jersey is under threat. De Gea is going to remain our number 1 for at least this season. And yeah, we could sell him in the summer, and we're looking at Donnarumma as a potential replacement. That's if he is convinced to leave AC Milan. We've been in for Donnarumma before. And apparently 3 clubs want De Gea. A few years ago, De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. but in the last couple of years he's made calamitous mistakes. And reflecting on that, he has become a liability. But he's still done well in some games this season. You know, this is De Gea's 10th season at Man United, so he has been a long servant. You know, if we sell him in the summer, I think we can get from between 50 to 60 million pounds. So there you go. Earlier on today, I did give you the news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. Apparently, we've culled our interest in Jadon Sancho. That's according to David Ornstein from The Athletic. Now, the main explanation we've culled our interest in Sancho is because of the progress of Mason Greenwood and Mason Greenwood's new contract. So we feel as though now we don't need a right winger. A centre-back and a forward are our two priorities for the summer transfer window. But I think we are still in for Sancho. He's obviously available for a reduced fee in the summer. £60 million has been quoted. And Kicker via Sports Witness recently said that a Jadon Sancho transfer is coming in the summer. Dortmund do face a summer of exits. There was narratives coming out the other week saying that Dortmund could sell up to 8 players in the summer to raise funds. Earlier on this season, Dortmund reduced their asking price for Sancho to £88 million. Last summer he was our number one priority target, but Dortmund's valuation was £108 million. You already know the news on Erling Haaland. You know the news on Jules Koundé. I'm expecting Man United to make signings in the summer transfer window. If we can get the right players in the summer, then I think we could be in for a shout for the title next season. Despite the pandemic, I'm still expecting us to do business. This year's summer transfer window is the biggest in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career. Solskjaer recently confirmed that he does have the backing of the owners to recommend the players that he wants in the summer. Said the other week that we are prepared to smash our transfer record in the summer, and apparently Woodward set to hand Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a huge war chest to sign top players in all areas. I think our transfer budget has been revealed, and it's not what every Man United fan expected. But hopefully Solskjaer gets backed in the summer transfer window, because I think the transfer windows he has enjoyed so far, he's not been backed enough as Man United manager. And Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ole, and he did say towards the end of last year that, he will back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. Our board have got a soft stance on Ole, with him being a club legend, and even when we was enjoying them bad periods under Ole when he was close to getting sacked, Woodward come out several times to assure that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. This year's summer transfer window will be Ole's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. Yeah, Ole has made good signings. I won't take that away from him. He's spent over £200 million at the club, and he's brought players like Dan James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January of last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odion Ighalo in on loan. And obviously he's brought players like Donny van de Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Palestrina, Mad Diallo, Traore. Got them last summer. We got 4 of those players on deadline day. It was a disappointing January transfer window for us because, we only saw one arrival. That was a Mad Diallo, Traore, but Solskjaer did say a few times during the January transfer window that he wasn't expecting any signings. We've seen a lot of players leave the club since Solskjaer got recommended in. Obviously, We let a few players go in January. We saw Jesse Lingard go out on loan to West Ham. We saw Teden Mengi go out on loan. We saw Facundo Palestri go out on loan. Modena Gallo said his farewells to the club. Rojo left the club and Timothy Vosamenta left the club. In the other window, Solskjaer's injured. He's got rid of players like Ashley Young, Valencia. They were two long-serving players at Man United. Got rid of Darmian, got rid of Smalling. Smalling was another long-serving player. Got rid of Fellaini. Fellaini enjoyed like 6 years at Man United. He left in January 2019. We got rid of Ander Herrera. I think we made a mistake by getting rid of Herrera because Herrera was good at Man United. He enjoyed 5 years at the club. We also got rid of Sanchez, made the right decision getting rid of him. We also got rid of Lukaku. Lukaku enjoyed a couple of years at Man United. We also let Angel Gomez go. We let Delors go out on loan. We let Andres Pereira go out on loan. We loaned Tahith Chon out, Dylan Levitt. Loaned Joe Pereira out again for another season. So we have loaned quite a few players out. And I'm expecting more players to leave Man United in the summer transfer window, like I've already gone through with you. Henderson or De Gea are leaving in the summer. Jones, I think he'll leave this year because Jones doesn't get in R11. Jones has been out of injury for over the year. There's a good chance Pogba will leave in the summer. Juan Mata could leave in the summer. Nemanja Matic could leave in the summer. I'm expecting also Romero to leave the club. Martial, I think we should sell him in the summer because he's been out of form for the vast majority of this season. He doesn't have a long-term future at Man United, Martial. Who will be our long-term number 9? Lindelof. A lot of United fans are saying we should sell him in the summer because he doesn't go well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. I think we need to keep Lindelof out of the team and put Bay there alongside Maguire, but Bay is too injury prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. But when he plays Bay, he is a very, very good centre half. But yeah, players have really, really improved at Manchester United. Luke Shaw, he's really, really improved. He's getting forward well, he's getting into good positions, he's putting good crosses into the box, and defensively Luke Shaw's been superb. And Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back, despite the arrival of Tellez last summer. Shaw has enjoyed over 6 years at the club. He's had a good career at Man United apart from his injuries. Like I said, Dean Henderson's done well in games this season. Merritt Bay's done well. And Wan-Bissaka's also had good games this season. There's been games where he's got forward well, he's put good crosses into the box, he's got in good positions, and defensively, Wan-Bissaka's always been superb. I still think he needs to get forward, though, a bit more. This is Wan-Bissaka's second full season at the club. Fred, I've been very, very impressed with him. I think he's improved at Man United. He's getting forward better, he's passing better, he breaks up the play well. He's still enjoyed some poor games. Fred's been at the club now a few years. At Tominway, he's enjoyed good games this season. Being part of the club for several years. Like I said, we've got the best out of Paul Pogba in recent months before he got this thigh injury. As you all know, Paul Pogba's going to be out for the rest of this February with this thigh injury. Solskjaer confirmed that prior to the Real Sociedad game. Donny van der Beek, he's also a good player. That's when he plays. He's played nowhere near as much as I expected. Most of Donny van der Beek's appearances have come from the bench. He's only started 2 games in the league. All he needs to play in more. Bruno Fernandes, he's made the difference since he's come in. Most of his games at Man United he's been consistent, but there's also been a few games where he has looked off the pace. People say if we didn't have Fernandes, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in the league. Like I said, Edison Cavani, he's made a fantastic impact since he's come in as well. Edison Cavani wants to stay at Man United beyond this season. Solskjaer's already said that Cavani is set for contract extension talks, so I presume we'll trigger that 1 year extension on Edison Cavani's contract. He'll stay for one more season, then he'll go. I've been hearing narratives that Boca Juniors are in for Edison Cavani. Marcus Rashford, he's also done well. He's had bad periods and he's had bad games, but he's still a very, very good player. We need to keep Marcus Rashford out on the left because that's where he's more effective. That's where you see the best of him. Mason Greenwood have also been very, very impressed with him since he broke into our first team squad. And he's done well recently despite scoring. And like I said, in regards to Amad Diallo Traore, I think he's going to be good assets for the first team. Recently made his debut and showed his tricks. Shaw Tyre, don't really know much about that Shaw Tyre to be honest with you, but he did make his debut for the first team when he came on against Newcastle recently. And I do like the way that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has promoted the youth. But yeah, I am Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in. I don't know if he's the long-term manager for Man United. Time will tell, won't it? But he's going to be given at least another season at the football club. You know, this is his third season at the moment. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer must win a trophy at Man United to avoid the sack. Because we haven't won a trophy yet under him and we haven't won a trophy since 2017 and the club of our stature need to be winning trophies. The FA Cup's a chance of a trophy and the Europa League is a chance of a trophy. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said after our 3-1 win against Newcastle that we are still in the title race despite a 10-point gap. But he said the same thing after West Brom, didn't he? When we drew 1-1, he came out and said Man United is still in the title race and will not settle for second in the title race. But after the Everton game, he made a different admission and said we shouldn't be considered as title chasers. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013 and I think we will win another title at some point. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's made very, very good progress in the last year or so. In recent months, I've seen good performances. Like I've said, certain players are improving. And we've enjoyed good periods under Ole. We've also enjoyed bad periods as well. You know, when Solskjaer's been close to getting sacked and would deserve credit for sticking with him. But Solskjaer deserves credit. You know, he's got us to the EFL Cup. He got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season, lost to City. He's got us to the FA Cup quarter-finals. Not going to be an easy game against Leicester. He's got us to the Europa League last 16, more or less. You know, he did well last season in his first full season at the club. You know, like I said, made good signings. We've got a fantastic away record in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. Very good away record. We've won more games at home recently, but we've been far better away from home than we have been at home. All our defeats have come at Old Trafford this season. Like I said, Solskjaer will probably sign a new contract at the end of the season. His current contract expires in 2022 with us, so he's into the final 18 months now of his current contract. He recently said Solskjaer's future is in doubt because he admitted that nobody spoke to him over a new contract, but he said we'll wait until the end of the season to begin contract talks with Solskjaer. We could offer him a new 2-year deal. We'll increase his wages. This is on one condition, and that's if we qualify for the Champions League. But top four is our aim this season now. I can almost assure we're going to finish in the top four. I think we'll probably finish second or third. It would be disastrous if we finished out of the top four. But yeah, win a trophy this season, finishing the top four, the top three, I think, that'll represent a good season for Man United. Then that'll give us something to build on going into next season. We definitely need Champions League football to attract players to the highest level. But yeah, Solskjaer's been Man United manager now over 2 years. We appointed him in December 2018. In his first 3 months at the club, he was the interim manager. Did very, very well as interim manager, won 14 games out of 19 in all competitions. So reflects on that, the club decided to give him the job permanently in March 2019. A lot of United fans did say we give him the job too soon. Solskjaer hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. Do you think that's an element of concern? Maybe it is, but reflecting now on he's been at the club, he has gained some managerial experience. And say he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, I think he's done well and he's handled the pressure well when he was close to getting sacked, because a lot of managers in that situation, may have even resigned. But yeah, definitely Ole needs more time. Don't forget he's inheriting players from other managerial eras. But yeah, the best manager, I think, since Ferguson. Ole is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. We've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. That was David Moyes, sacked him after 10 months, and we finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. Moyes is the worst manager we've ever had. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years despite him winning the FA Cup, and we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season. Now, I give you the reasons it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players, and the board just weren't backing the signings that he wanted to recommend in. So yeah, we haven't only had different managers with different philosophies, we spent over £1 billion on players since Ferguson retired. We must have brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired. And a lot of those players haven't been the right calibre players for Man United, Moyes only brought 2 players in, didn't he? That was Fellaini and Mata. Mata's still here now, but Fellaini's no longer here. Louis van Gaal brought a lot of players in as well. He brought the likes of Sneijderlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, Herrera, Romero, Victor Val. So they're a lot of the players we brought in under Van Gaal, but a lot of the players that Van Gaal brought in are no longer at the club now, are they? Some are still here. And Mourinho, he recommended 11 players in to Manchester United. Solskjaer's got rid of a few of Mourinho's players, but there's still some players here from the Jose Mourinho era, obviously. Yeah, but like I've said to you before, we'll never be the team that was under Ferguson, and no one's going to replicate what Ferguson did, and no one's going to last as long as he did, Ferguson. Ferguson endured 27 years at Manchester United, he won loads of trophies, including 13 Premier League titles, but Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United, so it does take some managers time to settle in. Good job Ferguson didn't get sacked any time in that 4-year period, because we wouldn't have had any success. Before Ferguson, we had Ron Atkinson, weren't good under him. Wilf McGuinness, at one point we had him, weren't good under him. And Franco Farrell definitely weren't good under him, because we got relegated under him back in 1974, which is 40 odd years ago now. I've just recently given you my preview for the Man United Real Sociedad game in the Europa League round of 32 second leg. It is at Old Trafford Thursday night, 8 o'clock kickoff. we're basically into the last 16 of the Europa League. You know, we beat Sociedad in the first leg 4-0 in Turin. Obviously, it was goals from Bruno Fernandes. He scored 2. Marcus Rashford scored and Daniel James scored, and it was a very, very good performance. Yeah, we recently beat Newcastle 3-1 in the league. It was good to get back to winning ways in the Premier League because prior to the game against Newcastle, we'd only won one of our last 5 in the league. Wasn't the best of performances, but, you know, we still got the win. Like I've just said on the preview, Solskjaer was asked if Amad Diallo, Traore and Shortire will start in the second leg against Sociedad, and he said probably not, but he said they will be part of the squad. I'd start him, you know, if I was Ole. Don't forget he provided us with an update on Donny van der Beek, Edison Cavani and Scott McTominay. He said he doesn't know what's going to be happening with them. But he said, you know, they may be available. Van der Beek's got a muscle problem. Edison Cavani's got a muscle problem. And I think McTominay has got a knock. And, you know, Phil Jones is still out with injury. And Paul Pogba's definitely not going to be playing on Thursday because he's out for the rest of February. But I'm expecting Ollie to make changes from the 3-1 win against Newcastle recently. Real Sociedad, you know, to be fair to them, did bounce back from that 4-0 loss in the first leg because they recently won 4-0. They are 5th in the La Liga. They're not a great team, but they're not a bad team. Their current manager is Manuel Alguacil. Like I said, I do know a few of their players. Obviously, they've got Januzaj, who's a former Man United player. They've got David Silva, who they got last year from City on a free. They've got Carlos Fernandes, who they brought in back in January. He's been out of injury recently. They've got Normand, I think, is he suspended for this game? They've got Monreal. They've got that Lopez. So there are a few of their players. Don't forget, they did let Willian Jose go, did Real Sociedad. And yeah, our next league game is Chelsea. That's going to be a tough game, you know. Chelsea are unbeaten under Thomas Tuchel. Chelsea appointed Tuchel in earlier on this season to replace Lampard. Chelsea sacked Frank Lampard after just 18 months in charge. It is actually Palace after Chelsea. I thought it was City after Chelsea, but it is Palace and then it is City. Tomorrow I'll be giving you my starting 11 prediction for the Sociedad game. You know, going to go through with you how Man United could line up. So join me for that. So anyway guys, that's everything to update for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.